Welcome back to another episode of Wellness Wednesday. I'm so excited you're here today. We are going to talk about how stresses can impact your thyroid and what happens with that and how to find a solution for you so you can continue to feel good, okay? So do you ever feel like sometimes you're feeling so good, you think you found the solution, and then out of the blue, years later or even months later, you're just feeling like fatigued, you're exhausted, you have no energy, you have wicked brain fog, like your head is like pounding to find something up there and you're like, what's going on? How is this happening? Okay. So these symptoms are coming back and you're like, what's going on? Well, the number one factor is stress. That's right, stress. Whether we feel stress or it's environmental stress or how our body produces and reacts to stress, because what that's going to do is it's going to increase your cortisol and that's going to put the thyroid in an inactive state. Okay. And that is what's going to happen because you're going to have more reverse T3 converted instead of T3. And reverse T3 is inactive and T3 is active. Okay. So the thyroid is composed of TSH, T4, T3, and reverse T3. We do not want to have more reverse T3 to have the inactive. But when we have stress on our body and there's things going on in our life, our thyroid goes into protective mode. It's like hibernation, okay? And then that's how it protects us. You're thinking, well, how is that protecting us? I agree with you. How is that protecting us to make us more tired and have no energy, right? But that's just how the body reacts. So what we get to do is think about that for a second, okay? So when the thyroid is inactive, we are lethargic. We have brain fog. We may gain weight. It slows our metabolism. We may just feel blah and like, what is going on? Oh my gosh, it's like it's such an effort and you're sleeping more, like maybe you're sleeping 10 to 12 hours instead of 7 to 8, and it's an effort to get out of bed and your whole body just aches. So what we need to do is figure out how to work in unity with our body. We need to work together with our body and the triggers that are coming in to our body, so we can decrease the stress in our lives. We can decrease the toxins. We can be able to identify the nutrition deficits that we have. Everyone has nutrient deficits, and that affects us, right? Like, did something go down because of the stress in our body? And past traumas. These are all things that we need to come to unity with within our bodies in order to decrease the stress. So how do we do this? How do we really think about this? Okay, you're like, okay, let's go ahead and decrease stress. That doesn't really work, right? But there are things you can do in daily actions that get us to the bigger goal that will allow us to feel better. Okay, so grounding is one of them. We need to be grounded every day, for whatever that could be for you, right? Whether it's looking at water, whether it's standing barefoot outside on the grass, on the pavement, finding grounding in what you're doing daily. Be able to find the nutrient deficits. Like, what are those? Are you deficit in magnesium, which affects your sleep, and sinus infections, which is all related to autoimmune? Is it finding that you want to reduce the inflammation for the foods you're eating, having a non-anti-inflammatory diet and nutrition, which plays a huge part in what we're doing? Are you eating the inflammation foods that are affecting your thyroid, that are allowing it to go into hibernation mode? Like, you got to be aware of this stuff, right? And so how are we doing that? How are we creating more zen, is what I like to say, more zen in our life, right? And toxins go away, stresses go away. But we need to be able to practice that daily in order to feel better, right? What are we doing to change our mindset as a model of positive change to feel better, right? You can say, oh, poor me, this sucks, da 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 da, and then you're never going to get better. But if you're like, screw that, that's not worth it, I'm going to be positive and I'm going to run the day, not my autoimmune disease, then you start to change your mindset as a model of positive change, right? And so you start to eat nutrient-dense foods that are less inflammatory because you feel better. You figure out how to manage your stress, whether that's meditation or grounding, move the body. First thing when you wake up, get up, walk, jog, bike, exercise, lift weights. That does increase the cortisol. However, it releases the toxins in your body and makes you feel good. And you don't need to be working out for 45, 60 minutes. 15, 20 minutes. Just get the body moving, get the blood flowing. Swap out all of your toxic laundry detergents, soaps, makeups, anything that is for your beauty and for your skin and for your health. Trade those out for non-toxic products, right? Because you're bringing the toxins right into your house, which is right into your body, right? You think the makeup you're putting on, if it's toxic and it has toxins in it, that's going right into you, right? And you want to be able to drink filtered water with added minerals and electrolytes, right? So no water is created equal. So we want to make sure that we're constantly doing this and, being able to and having less stress in our life, right? So how do we do this? It's such a common question I get with a lot of my clients. It's like, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so stressed. And that has to do with not listening to your body, not being in unity with your body, and not allowing yourself to find the solution. You're feeling overwhelmed. That's a symptom of your thyroid and your adrenals, right? But how do we fix that? There's ways to do that. You got to think about decreasing that in your life. Think about being proactive instead of reactive, right? So again, we want to make sure that we are reducing the stress factors, because that's the number one reason that we feel like crap, and that because of that, then our thyroid goes into hibernation, and then we're converting T4 to reverse T3 instead of T3. And that's super key. And I always, always highly recommend working in conjunction with a coach like myself and your practitioner, because you need to get your labs done. You need to understand what's going on, and you need if you have Hashimoto's, you're going to be on medicine your whole life, right? But finding the one that works for you in conjunction with proper nutrition, in conjunction with reducing your stress, in conjunction with being in unity with your body. I can't stress that enough, you guys. That's so important. We need to be in unity with our bodies, okay? We need to do this. We need to understand where the stresses are. Where are they coming from? How can we not avoid them, which will increase the stress, but how do we manage them? Okay? How do we manage them so we can reduce the stress, feel better, and start living instead of existing? Because I don't know about you, but having all these thyroid issues, Hashimoto's, autoimmune issues, all these, like, what? My head's exploding. But when we change our mindset as a model of positive change, and we decide, make a choice to be better, to change our mindset as a model of positive change, to find the triggers, to decrease the stress in our lives, to find the solution, to move the body, to drink filtered water. All of these things contribute, right? Understanding nutrition, understanding how to have a nutrient-dense diet that serves you, that's anti-inflammatory. And we might not even know what we're eating is causing our symptoms, right? And that's where I come in. I am the autoimmune expert, and I help you start living instead of exist. I help you create a 7-day meal plan that is super, super simple, catered to you and your needs and your deficiencies so you feel better. My goal is to help you feel better every day, all day, so you can thrive with autoimmunity and start living instead of existing. So just remember that I'm here for you as a resource, as a coach, as an accountability partner, as the autoimmune expert, to help you start feeling good so you can live instead of exist, reduce the stresses that can impact your thyroid so you understand how to feel good. We don't know how bad we feel until we feel better, right? We have no idea. So take a risk on yourself. When's the last time you took a risk on yourself? Take a risk on yourself to be better. Take a risk on yourself to feel good. Take a risk on yourself to know that you can overcome what you're going through. But it's a choice, and it always starts with you. So today is day one of the rest of your life. That's right. Today is day one, the rest of your life, right? And the mere word impossible says, I'm possible. So I believe in you. You are possible, and I cannot wait to have a conversation with you and help you live instead of exist. So down below here in the comments and notes section, you will find a link. Go ahead, click on the link, What's the worst thing that can happen? You start feeling better? I don't know. I think it's worth it. I'm so